Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined today by Jennifer Williamson, a Democratic Secretary of State candidate for Oregon. Good to see you. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So you're a former state representative from the Portland area. What are you most proud of your work in the House?
Well, I was the Oregon House Majority Leader for 5 years, and I am most proud of the work we did to level the playing field for working families in Oregon, passing the most progressive paid family leave bill in the nation, the most comprehensive reproductive health care bill in the nation, and doing things to make people's lives on a day-to-day basis better.
And that's, of course, for all Oregonians. Is there anything in particular that you're proud of that's helped rural Oregon?
Well, I think raising the minimum wage was an incredible accomplishment for the entire state. I think paid family medical leave is a great example of people being able to not have to choose between their family and their work in a time of crisis, and that impacts everyone.
What are your priorities if elected to the position?
My priorities are protecting our democracy. We're in a real crisis right now, and making sure that our elections are free and fair, that our audits are community-based, and that people have input into our audits and how our state agencies are working and how they're spending our tax dollars, that I represent Oregonians on the state land board in a fair and equitable way, and that we are really talking about the best use of our state lands, and ensuring that our voters have access to the ballot, and that we are making sure that every voice is heard and every vote is counted in this state.
As a lawyer, I'm curious, first off, what is your background in law, your areas of expertise, if you will?
I practiced in civil law, mostly civil litigation.
Okay, and now would that help you, your background in the law, would that help you as chief auditor, if you will, of the state?
Well, I think that my background as an advocate, as someone who has fought for people, whether it's in the legislature or in the courtroom, I think helps for every part of this job, because it's about making sure that people are accountable in our audit system, that we're fighting for every Oregonian and their right to vote, and making sure that the system is accountable and that people have access, whether it's voting or in the audits division. And so I think my track record as a fighter for Oregonians is what matters most. Okay,
we're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're going to hear with Jennifer Williamson, Oregon Secretary of State candidate as a Democrat. One of the Secretary of State's main jobs is safeguarding our election process. What in your experience makes you the best candidate for that?
Again, I think my track record is fighting for Oregonians is what makes me the best candidate to do that work. We are in a real crisis right now. Americans and Oregonians are concerned about the security of our elections and the fairness of our elections. And in fact, I've set out a whole agenda, a democracy agenda, which is on my website, jenniferfororegon.com. And it's a 10-part plan of things like same-day voter registration, a chief security officer, an election cybersecurity officer that is an expert in election security, because I think we need that kind of expertise to make sure that our system is secure from foreign tampering. And so it's things like that we need to be fighting for in the Secretary of State's office to make sure that Oregonians have faith in the system.
You're a Portland legislator, as we talked to former legislator. Mark Hass, one of your opponents, is a former Portland legislator. What is the difference between you as candidates, or what should people here in rural Oregon, how should they view that race?
Well, I would say I am from rural Oregon. Actually, I grew up on a farm, fourth generation Oregonian. My family is all in rural Oregon, and so I feel like I have a foot in both worlds. I think the difference between myself and all the other candidates is my track record. The fact that I led a caucus that really fought for fairness and leveling the playing field for Oregonians, fought for working Oregonians, and that I have a track record of legislative accomplishments that show that I know how to get this work done, and I know how to get this work done in Salem, which right now can be a contentious place.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what's it like for you to be touring the state, if you will, campaigning as all the action begins there in Salem this week? It's a wild time.
Well, I am traveling the state, and it's been great to talk to Oregonians about what they think is happening in Salem and how they're feeling about Salem, and I think that's been an incredible experience. I'm sad to not be there. I would love to be working on some of the issues that I've been working on for years now, but I trust the legislators that Oregonians have sent to Salem to work on issues I care about. And I hope things go well and that we can have a full and productive 5-week session in Salem.
Good to see you. Thanks very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.